All right, let's talk a little bit more about the STP 500 at Martinsville on Sunday. The guy who finished second, we already told you Kyle Busch won. A strong run for AJ Allmendinger behind the wheel of the number 47 Kroger Butterfinger Coffee Mate Chevrolet SS for JTG Doherty Racing, and he joins us on the guest line now. AJ, goodness, dude, you darn near got that thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun race. We definitely had a shot at it. We had a long run car. I was kind of praying for the first time ever that Martinsville would run the last 120 laps green. Obviously, that didn't happen. So had to get aggressive on the restart. And, Kyle was obviously fast the whole race, no matter what situation. But I thought really on the long runs, we might have had the best car. In the short runs, we had to make a couple adjustments at the end there. Randall Burnett did a great job and had a couple of good restarts and at least had a shot at it.
Yeah, you're known for your road course prowess, but you show up at Martinsville and we have to practice, and they only give us a little bit of practice on Friday. Are you a entry guy? Are you a turn in the center guy? Are you a brake guy? Are you a drive off? What's your priority when you got to Martinsville?
Drive off for sure. I mean, that place, and we saw it yesterday, especially since the track really never rubbered up. It is hard on rear tires, so I mean, you got to have a fine line. If the car doesn't brake well, then that kind of upsets the whole corner to start with. And if it's not turning well, you seem to use more throttle to try to help it turn, and that's how you burn the rear tires off. So there's always a happy medium, but I really tried to focus on forward drive. I thought the fall race last year, I had the best short run car I'd ever had, but after 30 laps, I would burn the rear tires off it no matter what I did, and it made for a long race. So really went in there with the mindset to focus on forward drive and do long runs, see what the tires look like, not try to abuse the tires. And that definitely hurt us on the short runs. We didn't quite have the speed. I thought we were, the first 30 laps of a run, I would really try to just hold my pace. I would try to not race anybody really hard. But on the long runs, it definitely made up for it. And then usually those short runs at the end are all based off of kind of how you get through the restart. If you're on the inside lane or if you have a really good restart, you can kind of get out clean. And that's what we did there. And I was driving for everything I had there trying to catch Kyle. I thought with about 4 to go, he went in the corner, and it looked like he got a little wide, and I thought, okay, here I come. And then I went down the next corner, drove it in, and it hit even harder and thought, okay, I just did the same thing he did the previous corner. So it was a lot of fun trying to race him. I joked around, after the race that I passed Jimmy Johnson like 5 times at Martinsville, so that's pretty cool. So all around, it was just a great day.
Absolutely, it was. And I heard you mentioning after the race about all the changes that you guys made at JTG Doherty Racing in the offseason. Tad Geschichter didn't sit still. We had your crew chief, Randall Burnett, on a few weeks ago talking about it. It really seems like things are starting to click for you guys despite all the changes. Are you surprised at how quickly it started to move in the direction you wanted?
Not really. The addition of Randall Burnett and Ernie Cope coming in as competition director to really get the race cars where they needed to be as we loaded them up and brought them to the racetrack. I kind of noticed it right away at the race team during the off season through the winter. We were building really nice race cars. Tad had said it was the first time he'd ever seen in his race shop 5 or 6 brand new cars sitting there ready to go before the season started. So, I was really pleased with where the team was going. Brian Burns, which was my crew chief last year, he kind of went back into the role as race engineer. Tony Palmer, which was my race engineer last year, kind of went into the role as the assistant race engineer, the second engineer in the hauler and at the race shop. And, everybody's really gelling. And that was kind of, I guess, the one question I had going into it. Okay, we got better, we got good people around us. We're building better race cars. But how quick is everybody going to gel? Is Brian and Tony, they've been awesome because in certain situations, we all know it, no matter what role you have in your life as a career, something if you feel like you've been taking a step back, maybe you feel like you've been demoted or something like that, and you can react to that in a bad way. And, it's definitely not demotion. It's just everybody trying to find the right role, and Brian and Tony have stepped up so much, and they're making such a huge difference. So it's just the way we've all gelled. It's been really good. Daytona, we had an okay week. It wasn't a great week. In Atlanta, we had a really fast race car and had some pit road problems, and then we had a steering box issue late in the race. So I thought we had a fast race car there. And then the West Coast swing, we just had a solid 3 weeks. So going to Martinsville, we always knew that was one of our best tracks. It's been one of my best tracks, and really just put a solid weekend in, good qualifying, good Saturday, and put a good 500 laps in yesterday. And my pit crew really the last 2 weeks, they've worked hard to make sure they're on top of their game, and Michael Klein and those guys have really just stepped up. So it's great. We still got a long ways to go, but it was just nice to have a really solid Sunday.
Yeah, we're 6 races in, and every single track we've gone to has been different. We now are going to go to Texas, which will be the second time we've seen a 1.5 mile high-banked, high-speed track. Give us the evaluation of the new low downforce package that we've experienced so far in 2016.
I think it's been really good. You know, a lot of it's based off of what tire Goodyear brings, and I think they've done a great job, I would say, especially at those tracks where they're hard on tires, that the Atlantas, the Fontanas, Martinsville's hard on tires, Texas going this weekend, that's another place that gets hot and slick. So they've really done a good job to bring a tire that's a little soft, that's got some grip in it, and you can go out there and attack it and have some really good speed early on, but you also have to save a little bit. So it puts it a little bit more back in the hands of the drivers of driving a stint during the race of how they want to do it, if they want to be aggressive early on or they need to save a little bit for the end of the run. So it's made it a lot more fun. I think we've had great finishes throughout the course of the 6 races so far. So I think if you ask pretty much any driver, they say this package right now and what we got going on is a lot of fun to race with.
I want to follow up. You're one of the rare open wheel candidates over in the NASCAR series that's been successful. Most of our guys come from dirt and they sling it around, and the rear of the car is never under them. You're driving a car now that has essentially the less amount of downforce than you've ever experienced. Do you enjoy that, and can we go even less?
I definitely enjoy it. You know, back into the I really had fun kind of that 2010, 2011 kind of era when the cars were kind of transforming back from the COT look and going back to that spoiler and that look, and they were sliding around a lot at that point. And, you know, I felt like I really enjoyed and had fun driving those and would go to a lot of places and have decent success with it. I kind of struggled in 2014 when we went to this package and especially when we had all that downforce and it was just all about momentum. You know, I never had driven trucks a lot or Xfinity to where it's a momentum kind of based vehicle to where it's not about getting in the throttle early. It's about how you don't touch the brakes and you just kind of hold partial throttle, and the more momentum you carry, the faster you are. So it took me a while to learn that. So I really like this less downforce package. I think you can go less, but once again, it's all based off of getting the right tire to go with it. You know, just to go less to say, yeah, we got even less downforce doesn't work if you don't bring the right tire combination to go out there and help that package. And, you know, that's where Goodyear and the teams are working hard together to try to make the best racing for us, for the fans, for everybody watching at home, and so on. So, you know, there's room, but I feel like over the last couple of years, we've almost reacted too quick, say, oh, this package isn't working after 10 races. We got to go to something new. And it just takes a little time to get everything right. And you know, hopefully the fans are enjoying it because I think us drivers really are.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with 2 photo finishes in the first 6 races along the way. Chatting with AJ Allmendinger, who drove the number 47 Kroger Butterfinger Coffee Mate Chevrolet SS to a second-place finish at Martinsville. He's up to 12th in the standings right now. And, AJ, we mentioned earlier we had Randall Burnett on a few weeks ago and saw a tweet where he was kind of taunting you about some golf, and he said, oh, no, I can't play with AJ, but he was sure giving you the business that day. I told him he'll be fine as long as he doesn't let you give him any wardrobe advice.
Yeah. He's funny, man. I didn't know much about him. When we were kind of interviewing him, you know, I'd sat down at dinner and he was one of those, I call him just those racers, you know, those guys that have built race cars, have driven race cars, has been around it his whole life and got such a diverse background. And, you know, he's a guy that has basically done everything on a cup team except crew chief it. So we've been very fortunate to have him here. And, you know, anybody that's listened to him on the radio over the first 6 races, it doesn't sound like it's his first time ever crew chief. And he's spot on the radio. He tells me what I need to hear. He gives me the good feedback. He tells me when I need to calm down. It's just been a pleasure to work with him. And he's got a passion. You know, I laugh because I feel like, and this will be shocking to you guys, that I'm always the animated one inside the hauler.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
know it's crazy. It's shocking when I tell people this, but he's got a little bit of an edge to him. I've told him the last couple of weeks. I said, it's bad when I'm the calmest guy in the hauler right now, and I like that. I like it about him. I feel like he's got a little chip on his shoulder. I've always had one of mine. This race team has it on theirs because we're a small race team that sometimes, we want to be up front, and I wouldn't say sometimes we don't get the recognition we deserve, because I feel like you always got to earn that, but we have that chip on our shoulder to go out there and beat those big race teams. So he's a lot of fun to work with. We've had a good time so far, and I really see it just getting better and better. We're going to have those ups and downs. Texas, for instance, isn't a racetrack that's always been my best. The guys have really worked hard to make sure this car is ready. Randall and Ernie and the guys at the shop are pumped up about the Texas car, but we're going to have our ups and downs. That's what a small team trying to get better is all about. But, these last few weeks, the Fontana, having a top 10 run, top 10 car all day, Martinsville, having just such a great race car, shows that when we get our stuff right and we're spot on and we don't make any mistakes, we can run up front. And that's what we're going to try to do every week and just take what we can get. Being 12th in points after, I think, Atlanta, we were 36th. So we've made a huge run, and we just got to say every weekend we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Just get what we can get.
Yeah, that's fantastic to see. We're running a little bit over here, but I got to ask you one quick thing. I saw we mentioned all the sponsors you guys had yesterday, Kroger, Butterfinger, Coffee Mate, all the ones that Tad worked so hard to get. You've just added the original Louisiana hot sauce, but I saw a clip on Twitter where you're running around the shop for Scott Products, hitting people in the face with pies. What's up with that?
Well, I after we won at Watkins Glen, my jackman, Michael Klein, the pit crew coach, he hit me in the face with a pie just for fun, and I thought it was time to get some guys back. So I show my appreciation at the shop for all their hard work. They get pie in their face.
That's fantastic. Man, congratulations on a real strong run yesterday. Look forward to catching up with you at Texas and continued success.
Thanks, guys.